You're listening to the audio production of The Choice by Robert Whitlow, published by Thomas Nelson and read by Heath McClure.
Part 1, Chapter 1. Rutland, Georgia, 1974. Sandy Lincoln nervously twirled her long blonde hair around her index finger. A magazine with a picture of Olivia Newton-John on the cover and a feature article about Cher's recent breakup with Sonny lay unopened in her lap. Her mother stared unseeing across the waiting room. "Why is it taking so long?" Sandy asked. Her mother checked her watch. "It's only been 30 minutes. Do you want to go home and let the doctor call?" "No," Sandy replied immediately. "What if Daddy answers the phone?" "You're right," her mother answered with a heavy sigh. "I don't know what I was thinking." A dark-haired nurse in her 30s stuck her head in the room. "Miss Lincoln, you may come back now." As soon as the nurse spoke, Sandy instinctively grabbed her mother's hand for a second, and then released it. The two women followed the nurse down a narrow hallway to an examination room. "What did the test show?" Sandy asked anxiously. "Dr. Brazelton will be with you in a few minutes," the nurse said as she held the door open. "He'll discuss it with you then." There was one chair in the room. Sandy hopped onto the examination table and let her feet dangle. The white paper that covered the table felt cool against the back of Sandy's bare legs. She repositioned her short skirt. The queasiness that had greeted Sandy each morning for the past 2 weeks returned. She put her hand to her mouth to stifle a burp. "Stomach upset?" her mother asked. "I'm scared," Sandy replied in a voice that sounded more like that of a 7-year-old girl than a 17-year-old young woman. "The test is positive, isn't it?" Before her mother could answer, Dr. Brazelton swept into the room. The white-haired doctor was older than Sandy's parents. His 2 children had already graduated from Rutland High, and one now attended medical school in Augusta. Sandy's mother started to get up from the chair. "Keep your seat, Julie," the doctor said with a wave of his hand. "I just saw Bob at the Rotary lunch a couple of hours ago." "Did you tell him we were—" No. I didn't know Sandy was coming in until I checked my schedule when I got back to the office." The doctor turned to Sandy and opened a thick folder in his hand. Dr. Brazelton had been treating Sandy since she was a baby. Her chart contained a record of everything from childhood vaccinations to follow-up care after an emergency appendectomy. He rubbed the side of his nose and looked at Sandy with a depth of kindness that made tears suddenly flow from her eyes. The doctor grabbed a couple of tissues from a box and pressed them in her hand. "Sandy, you're pregnant," he said. "And based on the information you gave my nurse, you're about 8 weeks along." Sandy wiped her eyes with the tissues. Through blurred vision, she could see her.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?